Oh, Mr. Sears, you're not yet on my list. So I'm going to need your P number real quick. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Shane Leroy Raymer. Leroy, okay, I like Leroy. File number 23-21665FH. I have Brenda Underwood, P41009, appearing on behalf of the defendant. And I have Dan Gumto, but state your full name and your P number, please.
Your Honor, Nicholas Sears on behalf of people. Nicholas Andrew Sears. I am appearing under Michigan Court Rule 8.120, I believe, which is the observation of waiting for my bar results.
Okay, very good. All right, you had your hand up?
Yes, I fired her due to misrepresentation.
When did you fire her?
Over 2 weeks ago.
Was that in front of me?
No, that was in her office but
this moment sets the tone instantly. The defendant, Shane Leroy, walks into court not with anger, but with absolute conviction, convinced the system is rigged against him before a single word is spoken. And that's the danger, certainty without reason. When he declares, "I don't need a law degree," you can almost feel the collective sigh in the room. The judge's eyes nearly roll on instinct, not out of mockery, but exhaustion. What Shane calls confidence isn't courage or insight. It's pure delusion, polished just enough to sound self-assured. And that kind of misplaced certainty is what turns a courtroom into a slow-motion disaster.
You have another attorney?
I will represent myself.
You're going to represent yourself.
Yes.
You know, there's a very famous quote about representing yourself. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That, do you have a college degree?
I don't need a law degree.
Did you graduate from high school?
I don't need that either.
You don't need that to represent yourself? Okay. Do you have access to, okay. So
I have evidence that shows that the description did not match.
Well, I'm not going to get into that yet. So you're asking me today to remove Miss Underwood as your attorney.
Yes.
And you want to represent yourself.
If I
Do you understand that even when I have court cases, I hire an attorney to represent?
Well, I can't trust anybody in this system in this area because they all seem to be working together. This case should have been resolved a long time ago during the appeal the first time. She should have objected when the claim was made that I matched that description 100%.
Okay, so Mr. Raymer, part of what you're saying shows to me that
this judge's patience is pure gold. Instead of mocking Shane, she takes the time to actually explain how the law really works. That lawyers can't just object to anything you don't like or shout, "Overruled," into existence. Then, in a rare moment of tough kindness, she calls his lawyer a pit bull, courtroom code 4. She's the one person who might actually save you. But Shane doesn't see it that way. In his mind, everyone, the judge, the lawyer, the system, is part of some grand conspiracy. And that kind of thinking? It doesn't just burn bridges, it blows them up mid-crossing.
you don't quite understand how the court procedures work, okay? So your attorney has an obligation to ethic clients come to me and say, I want you to file this and I want you to file that. And I would say there's no basis for that. And I don't file frivolous motions, or I would say to them they have probable cause or whatever. You want to represent yourself, you can do that at your own risk. You have the right to represent yourself. But what I will tell you is that Miss Underwood is the bane of most prosecutors' existence, because she's a little pit bull and she doesn't put up with a lot of guff from them, and she's a tough defense attorney. So you may not like what she says, but I feel like she's always honest. So that being said, if you want to proceed and represent yourself, you understand you're going to have to file written motions. You're going to have to follow the court rules.
This is the trial, right?
Then the hammer drops, literally. The judge reminds Shane that he missed his last court date, and she had to issue a bench warrant just to get him back in. This isn't corruption, it's consequence. But that's the thing with self-proclaimed truth seekers, they always skip that part. Accountability only matters when it's someone else's.
How is this not the trial? I was told this is going to be the trial. I'm supposed to be sitting here with a jury today.
No, you're not.
Yes, you're on.
Mr. Raymer, I schedule jury trials, and I haven't scheduled you a jury trial yet. Oh, wait. You're the one that didn't show for the pre-trial. That's why. Is that why?
Your Honor, if I could speak for a second. I think the first thing we need to do
I'm
is
sorry.
the bench warrant.
Yes. So, Mr. Raymer, you failed. Yeah, he failed to appear for the pretrial conference.
That's correct.
All right, so everybody stop talking for a minute. So Ms. Underwood, thank you for reminding me of that. Mr. Raymer, you had a final pretrial conference on December 11th, and we gave you a notice of hearing, and you failed to appear for that pretrial. Because you failed to appear for that pretrial, I canceled the jury trial because it cost me a lot of money to have a jury here. So if you're not here for the final pretrial, I'm not going to trial until I get you here. So I actually issued a bench warrant for your arrest, failure to appear for the pretrial. Do you understand that? So Ms. Underwood's now asking for me to set aside that bench warrant. Is that what you're saying?
Thank you, Your Honor. He did demonstrate to the court that he can show up by showing up this morning.
Okay. So Mr. Raymer, so Ms. Underwood's asking me for me to set aside the bench warrant for your failure to appear on December 11th. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Mr. Sears, any objection to me setting aside the bench warrant since he has it today?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Raymer, I will quash that bench warrant, and I'm sorry, I didn't look back to see that this was the original trial date. So that's my procedure. If people don't show up for a pretrial,
The judge even gives him a lifeline, 10 minutes to step outside and talk with his lawyer. But he refuses. He's too far gone, trapped in his own echo chamber of mistrust and make-believe law. It's a quiet, heartbreaking moment because you can feel it. Everyone in that courtroom knows this man just sealed his own fate.
the jury trial as the pretrial, okay? Do you understand that? So that's why
Yes or
there's
no,
no jury.
Yes or no?
I did answer that.
So we're recording, so we have to hear you, so you have to speak up really loud, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Raymer, all right. So Ms. Underwood and Mr. Sears, this is a date and time set for pretrial. Mr. Raymer, I have your attorneys did file all the paperwork. Ms. Underwood, do you want to speak to Mr. Raymer for a moment?
Your Honor, I'm not sure that would do any good.
Okay. So
If Mr. Raymer would like to speak to me, I am more than happy to speak to Mr. Raymer at this point.
So I'm going to quash the bench warrant. Mr. Raymer, if you want to sit down and talk with Ms. Underwood and see if you can meet a common ground, I would highly recommend that. You know, if you want to take 5 minutes or 10 minutes and talk to her, you can.
She's not going to represent me appropriately.
Then comes the prosecutor, calmly defending the defense attorney. That almost never happens, and it says everything. The system isn't against him, it's actually trying to help him. But he can't see it. He's too far gone, fighting a battle that exists only in his head. And that's the real tragedy. He truly believes he's right.
All right, so Mr. Raymer, if you are firing Miss Underwood, I can grant that, but I don't have the ability to appoint another public defender to represent you.
No,
There's.
if I can't get somebody to represent me that's doing the job appropriately, then I will represent myself. Because I can prove that I was not that person that they're claiming.
That's what a jury trial's for.
Yeah, and when it comes to the jury trial, then I don't need somebody that's not gonna represent me appropriately.
Okay, well, I really doubt that she isn't appropriately representing you, but, so Mr. Glazier and Mr. Malaro, he's asking for me to, he's asking to fire Miss Underwood, so.
If I may, Your Honor.
Yes?
When the judge finally removes his attorney, there's a flicker, a tiny crack in his voice that almost sounds like regret. But pride steps in fast, shutting it down. What follows is pure courtroom theater. He's asking where to find jury instruction forms, and the judge, steady as ever, reminds him. I can't give legal advice. It's funny on the surface, but underneath, it's tragic. A man standing on the edge of a felony, treating trial prep like a Google search.
I vetted Mr. Raymer's claims about Ms. Underwood's representation. My understanding, she conducted a preliminary examination. She also filed a motion to dismiss, I believe, that was heard and ruled on by this court. I've not determined that she's done anything that did not require, or that was not required of her. So I denied Mr. Raymer's request to appoint a new attorney. For one of the reasons was that a trial date was imminent and it would be almost impossible for any attorney to get up to speed. Ms. Underwood is clearly ready to go to trial in this case. I think, as the court, I think, is aware, Mr. Raymer just doesn't like what he hears. So that is the reason I made his request to have another attorney appointed in this matter, because Ms. Underwood's doing everything she can do on his behalf.
So, Mr. Raymer, I guess I would ask, she held a preliminary exam, which is what you do to dispute the charges.
By the end, he finally admits, "I would prefer to have counsel, but not her." And that line says it all. In court, it's not about who you trust, it's about who can keep you from losing everything. Sometimes, the real enemy isn't corruption or the system. It's stubborn pride, the kind that blinds you right before the fall.
If you don't want her as your attorney, I will remove her
Yes,
as
I
your
do not
attorney.
want her as my attorney.
All right, so, Ms. Underwood, you are relieved of your duties. So, Mr. Raymer, you can either hire an attorney or proceed as you are. So I will get another jury trial date. Mr. Raymer, you will need to file with the court, jury instructions and voir dire questions. And those are gonna need to be filed by a certain date.
And how do I go about doing
I
that?
can't tell you because I can't give legal advice. That's why you had an attorney. So you're gonna have to figure that out on your own.
Okay, well.
I can't give you legal advice as a judge.
That's all right.
That's what Miss Underwood was for.
But she wasn't doing her job.
She did do her job.
No, she
But-
failed,
I'm not gonna argue with Mr. Raymer. So, Miss Adams, I'm looking for a trial date.
Judge, you wanted me to find the first available?
He's not in custody.
Yes, Judge.
So final pretrial for April 9 at 8:30 a.m. So was there a plea offer made in this file, Mr. Sears?
Your Honor, yes, there was. Would you like me to place what the offer was?
I always do, yes. I keep that in my file. Thank you.
Your Honor,
You're not on this file anymore. Thank you.
1 second while I'm on the computer. It is slow, Your Honor. It looks like the final plea offer provided from my office was 2 counts of an attempted RMO.
All right, so Mr. Raymer, do you understand the plea offer was to plead to 2 misdemeanors?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so those are 1-year misdemeanors, so it'd be 2 1-year misdemeanors, in lieu of the 5-year felony, because you have, 4-year felony, police officer assaulting and resisting causing injury, and you have 2 2-year felonies for police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing, and 1 misdemeanor for disorderly person. Are there any body cams? Were those provided to Mr. Raymer?
Yes, I believe a discovery was sent to obviously the public defenders.
Okay.
If you would, obviously you would need any additional body cams or discovery, you would have